Hey everybody, it's Doc Green, the Road Scholar, coming back at you. I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately and everything. I've been kind of tied up. We were buying a new house and everything, getting things ready, and so I've been really busy here the last few months. But anyway, back to this video. I see a lot of these guys out here on here, especially there's some new guys that have been driving for a couple of years and 3 or 4 years. They're just not getting a lease purchase program, or they're buying a truck and they're doing like YouTube videos, and they're explaining to you young drivers and people looking to get into trucking and people looking to get a lease purchase or owner operator about how to fuel. And they're saying, you calculate how many miles you go and your average miles per gallon, and you get enough fuel for that run. Don't spend any more money because it takes money out of that run. It doesn't matter. Let me explain something to you. If you're not using it on this run, you're going to use it on the next run. What I usually do is when I'm down south, Texas way here, so I definitely fill up my tanks. I don't care if I'm going on a 100-mile or a 300-mile because fuel's cheaper down there. And I try to run as much as I can with it. But at every fuel stop I get to, I fuel my truck to the top. The reason is because if I'm not using it this week, I'm going to use it next week. I'm not going to lose any money. They go, well, man, you lost $300 out of you this week's paycheck because you fueled up on a Friday and you only ran so many miles on a Saturday. Yeah, but that means on next week's paycheck, when it starts on Sunday or Monday, whatever it does, I'm still using fuel that's in my truck. So guess what? That's what I'm not spending out of the next check. It averages out. I don't get how these people keep thinking this way. And then I see some guys going there. I'm listening to the coach trucker or the trucker coach or something else. Some of these other guys that have been on here. Here's what they're trying to tell you when they say watch your fuel. They're saying don't sit up there when it's 72 degrees outside or 68 degrees outside and be running your truck all night long, trying to keep at an even 69.5 degree temperature inside your truck. That's what they're talking about by not using your fuel. Or when you're at a truck stop or something, don't leave your truck running all damn day while you're sitting there. Use your common sense, people. Fuel consumption, don't sit there and full throttle your truck at 70, 75 miles an hour down the highway. Slow it down to 65. That's going to save you a ton of fuel. But they're not talking about just put in enough gallons to make this one run. Because I guarantee you, sooner or later, that plan's going to bite you in the butt. Especially you out here in the middle of winter or something, you get stuck in one of these rest areas, some snowstorm comes through and you can't move and you're shut down for about 2 or 3 days. Yeah, good luck with that extra 10 gallons you had. Just fill your truck up, people. The money you're saving this week, the money you're spending this week, you're going to save next week. You're not making any big savings plans. But anyway, that's what I want to talk about, the fuel savings. I see some other guys talking about lease purchase programs, and there's going through these programs and that program. I'm going to kind of touch on lease purchase a little bit again. I've tried to talk about these in past videos. I'm going to do it again in this video because I'm guessing some people just aren't getting it. Lease purchase. Well, you know what? I got to say, I've got to reevaluate the way the lease purchase programs work. Because here the last couple of years, these truck companies have came a long way in the way they do the lease purchase program. And here's what I mean. It used to be you get ripped off, man. They were charging way too much money for the trucks you were buying. They still charge a little bit more than the trucks are really going for, but not like they used to. They used to charge you like 5 times what a used truck was worth just to get you to pay for it and everything. It's not like that anymore. There are a lot better programs out here. I've been looking at a few. I'm going to talk to US Express about theirs. But here's what I see: this company RTI, Riverside Transport Incorporated. And here's what I like about theirs: they have what they call a flexible. They have 2 different types of lease. You can get a fixed cost, which runs you about $5 something a week, or they have the flexible one where you pay like 23 cents a mile for every mile you run toward your truck payment. I probably like the flexible one better because when you take off, let's say you're out here, guys, you run out here 3 or 4 weeks, go home for 3 or 4 days, that's great. Whichever plan fits you better. But some of these guys out here, and I'm one of them, I run out here 4, 5, 6 weeks at a time. I want to take a week off, week and a half off. For that 4, 5, 6 weeks, my payments are higher usually, or would be, if the way I'm calculating their payment plan out, would be higher than the guys who have the fixed rate plans. But I'm making enough money to cover that. But when I'm off that week that I take off, all I have to do is pay my fixed costs, like Qualcomm rental and some other, whatever. It comes out to about $145 from what I've seen. And like I said, I'm not there yet, but that's the numbers I've ran. But I don't have to pay the $500, $600 truck payment that week because I didn't run any miles that week. You see what I'm saying? So I don't come back in my truck, and now I have to make up this week's paycheck and last week's paycheck, which means $1,000, which means I'm not going to make any money this week. And the next week I'm going to be trying to catch up on bills, so it throws you way in a bind. But the way RTI looks like, I'm going to be honest with you, that looks like a dang good plan. I haven't talked to U.S. Express yet about theirs completely. I may stay with U.S. Express and, do a lease purchase with them. I don't know yet. I've seen some videos and everything. I haven't really talked to anyone on a lease purchase plan. The guys I see failing on lease purchase programs, excuse me, after I talk to them or I watch the videos and everything, and you'll get this, it all comes down to the same thing. I mean, it's basically the same thing every time. Well, I'm not getting enough miles, or I'm not getting enough runs, or I go in the hole when I go home. You got to be prepared for that. Like I said, do not get into a lease purchase program without at least a couple thousand in the bank, because things are going to go happening. And when they do, you want to make sure you have enough money to cover your payments. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Don't ever enter a lease purchase program until you got a couple of thousand, at least a couple of thousand in the bank. And I'll see some guys trying to take their chances, and I don't know why. It's like karma bites them in the ass every time. Every time a driver tries to take their chances, they're going to make that money up and put it in the bank and everything, and something goes wrong. And they never get it saved up. They always go in the hole, and basically it just never works out for them. And I've seen that so many times. People ask me, what happened to your last lease purchase program? It was you must have got with a bad company. You just don't want to talk about it. No, I'll talk about it plainly. My last lease purchase was with a company called Amerifield. Now, I know you'll see, if you go on there, you'll see a lot of people talking bad about them. I can't. I know, they had some rough growing spots there for a little while and everything. They got past those, but I can't really say anything bad about them. The reason I left them, one, it was a walkaway lease, and they refunded all my escrow to me and everything. But the reason I left is, man, to be honest with you, I just got burned out in the oil fields. That's long hours, hard work, stuck out there, sometimes 24, sometimes 2 days stuck out in an oil well, can't make a delivery. And it wasn't that the pay was bad. The pay was damn good. I had some weeks I carried home $6,000 in my pocket after fuel and after taxes and everything. In my pocket, $6,000. And people go, man, I don't care. I'd do it for that. Yeah, that wasn't every week. That was like my extreme week. Most time I averaged about $3,400 to $4,000 a week take home. And people go, well, that's still really good. It was. But, I wanted to go home after doing that for about a year. It was time for me to go home, and it was a walkaway lease. They said, yeah, but one more year and you would have owned that truck. Yeah, I guess. It just wasn't worth it for me to stay out there another year for it. But I hear a lot of guys, that they complain about their lease purchase programs and everything. And then after I get to listening to them and I start watching some of their other videos and I see them complaining about their company and how they're running, what it usually comes down to, and most of you guys, if y'all watch their videos, you'll figure this out too, is it usually comes down to they take too much time off. They go home, or they don't want to, I'm not running up north, or I'm not running northeast, or I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. Well, then you're not making money, and your dispatcher remembers you. You won't do a run for the dispatcher, then the dispatcher's not going to give you the good runs that you want either. As simple as that. You're not taking care of them, they're not going to take care of you. Now, saying that, also realize that some dispatchers look at, you take a couple of bad runs from him, they go, oh, well, he'll do anything, and, oh, he don't mind these kind of runs. They'll start, so yeah, you got to take up for yourself. You got to stand up at some point and say, hey, no, I'm not doing a bunch of 300-mile runs every day. I'll do one for you every once in a while, but, I can't do it every day. You have to learn how to talk to your dispatcher, get to know them and stuff. I've seen some companies out here got lease purchase programs. They talk about how they get to the dock and someone's paying off somebody and this and that and the other. And I've seen it in the past. I'll be honest with you, that's usually on smaller companies. The big companies don't see that problem with. And even the smaller companies, if you could prove it, if you can, you're not just guessing, you're not just hearing rumors, you can actually prove it, then usually if you talk to the owner, the vice president, or the president or something of the company, they'll fire somebody over that. Because they don't want their reputation ruined out here. But lease purchase some people say, and here's another thing about lease purchase. Some companies you can make a lot of money, a lot more money doing lease purchase than you could doing a company driver. And then if that's the case, then those usually what I would do is at least save up enough money where if I left the company, I can go put it down on my own truck and leave and go get another truck of my own under my own authority and everything. Some companies, Like from what I understand about U.S. Express, the lease purchase makes about what the company drivers make. Maybe a little bit more, a couple hundred more, sometimes a couple hundred less, depending on the driver. But averages out about the same as the company drivers. So someone goes, well, why would I do that then whenever I could just be a company driver and make the same amount of money? Well, it depends on what you want. If you want the benefits, the health, life, the 401k, the dental, the vision, all that, then yeah, you need to be a company driver. If you want to keep that extra few $100s in your pocket, then be you need to do a lease purchase. And they go, well, what's the point of being a lease purchase if it's the same amount of money? Because in the end of 2 years, you own the truck. I don't think a lot of people get that. You own the truck. If you want to continue leasing under that company, that's up to you. Go get your own authority, hit them load boards, man. You can rack in $5,000-$6,000 a week every week, guaranteed. You know, and I talked about that in one of my videos. It depends on what you want out of driving. I see some other videos on here. I'm getting addressed a lot of stuff because I've been watching other YouTube truckers and stuff, and I talk about things that actually affect us out here, like lease purchase program, fuel costs, things like that. You're not going to hear a lot of dialogue. Here's what drives me crazy, and I know you're hearing some now, but drivers who will talk for 30 or 40 minutes, and it could sum the whole video up in 5 minutes. My video is now running 11 minutes, and to be honest with you, this is kind of a long one for me. I don't like running this long. But anyway, you won't hear no 25, 30-minute videos because they're just not that much for me to talk about at one time. And number two is, more than half the time, you're not going to sit through a full 25 to 30-minute video any damn way. You'll go back and look at other videos. So, anyway, I got some new subscribers out here. I'm up to 900 now. Yeah. I never thought I'd get that many. I just, I do this channel just to try to help new drivers out and everything. I don't get monetized or anything. Or not yet, anyway. I don't know. But it's kind of neat getting 900 subscribers. I did a couple of goofy videos and stuff that had nothing to do with trucking. I put those on here every once in a while just because sometimes I just want to break the monotony, guys. But anyway, this one about the fuel thing, about drivers trying to tell you how to only put so much. Like I seen this one driver, I can't remember his name right now, but he literally talks about, I used to put it in there, just let it go until it popped and it was full. And I used to know, but you lose so much money. You're not losing money, because next week you're not going to have to stop in, and to be honest with you, kind of gaining money because I don't have to stop in every time I finish a run and refuel up. So anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there for you, let you know the real deal behind fuel savings and everything. You're going to save fuel if you shut your truck off when you don't need it running. Don't be doing 75 to 80 miles an hour out here. Slow it down to 65, 68, somewhere in there. Get your 7.5 miles per gallon. You're going to get lower gas mileage with heavier loads in the mountains than you will with an empty truck in the south. It's just the way it is. So people say, we got to average your miles out, figure out how many miles you're going to drive and how many average your fuel out and figure out how many gallons you get. You can't. I mean, I guess you could if you've been out here for, like me, I know where the mountain regions are. I know where the valley region, but most of the time you can't. You don't know how much your load's going to weigh unless you already doing the load board thing or something. So you don't know, if you're up in the mountains, you're going to get about 5.5, 6 miles to the gallon sometimes. If you're down south, you're going to get 7.5 miles to the gallon. So anyway, that was, don't just fill your damn truck up. And the money you're spending this week, you're going to save next week. You're going to get a bigger paycheck next week because you don't have to fuel up as much. It's just common sense, people. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Thanks for tuning in.